Sam LaPorta is having a historic season for a rookie tight end. He has 6 touchdowns, 679 receiving yards. At this point, following week 13, he ranks 9th on the all-time leaderboard for rookie receiving yards for a tight end, and he's within range of the record. Right now, he's on pace for 962 receiving yards, which would put him 3rd all-time. Probably not going to beat Mike Dicka's 12 touchdown record, but still, it's rare to see a rookie tight end be this productive. I think he's already a top 10 route running tight end in the NFL. He's so explosive off the line of scrimmage, really fluid in and out of his breaks, and he does a great job attacking defenders' leverage, selling his route breaks, setting defenders up at the top of the route. Right here, he's running a deep slant against a safety with outside leverage, so he's breaking in the opposite direction of the defender's leverage. You can see the initial stem of this route, he gains leverage to the inside, but then at the top of the route, he uses this rocker step to fake the outside break. That gets the safety to lean outside just enough to create separation over the middle of the field. On this play against Atlanta, the Lions are running a play action shot against cover 3. The corner, Trey Flowers, has his eyes in the backfield, so he doesn't even drop back into coverage. So the last line of defense is the safety, Richie Grant, playing the deep middle. This is almost a guaranteed deep reception right here, but the way that he sells this route turns it into a touchdown. He stems his route to the outside like he's running a deep corner. That gets Richie Grant to overcommit outside of the hashes, and then he quickly breaks inside. Grant can't recover, and LaPorta has a wide open touchdown. How quick he is out of his breaks makes him a mismatch against even really good cover linebackers. Right here, you see just a smooth break on this quick out against Patrick Queen. On this play, he's got Levante David with inside leverage. He accelerates down the field, sticks the landing with this vertical step to really sell that he's running a seam route, and then he quickly breaks horizontally for an easy first down. And he's really good at using his weight displacement against physical man coverage to set up defenders at the route break. Another nice rep against Levante David here. He powers through the press coverage at the line of scrimmage. David's stuck on his outside shoulder all the way down the field, but he's leaning into him in the opposite direction of where he intends to break, and then that allows him to create separation at the route break just by removing that pressure. He doesn't have to push off with his hands. He just gives a hard lean in one direction and then basically pulls the rug out from under him. Right here, he's got this hook zone defender playing on the outside. He's running a slant route over the middle. LaPorta preserves his two-way go for as long as possible, widens out his base at the top of the route to freeze the defender, and then quickly cuts to the inside. So if we look at his athletic profile, we see 99th percentile 10-yard split, 90th percentile 3-cone. Pretty much all of the movement drills he's at or above 70th percentile, but he's in the 20s or teens for all of the size measurements. The reason that I'm so optimistic about Sam LaPorta eventually developing into a top 5 tight end is that he has the route running fluidity that we expected, but even for a smaller tight end, he's showing outstanding physicality throughout the entire process of the route, and he has that natural sense for how to run his routes differently based on the type of coverage he's facing. He's a really smart route runner in terms of setting defenders up. He's also been really good in contested catch situations this year. He ranks 2nd in contested catch rate at 75%, 9 for 12. This is an improvement from what I saw in college, so we'll see if that continues, but he seems to have really good ball skills and focus in those tight window situations. If you've got a tight end that's a premier route runner and can also be plus 50% on jump balls, that's pretty much the complete package for a tight end. As a receiver, really the one issue with Sam LaPorta is drops. He has 5 drops this year. He had 6 in his last year of college and 5 the year before that. Some of these are difficult adjustments to slightly inaccurate passes, but there's also some really bad wide open drops. Ultimately, I think it's the sort of thing you just have to live with considering all the other stuff he does well, but if he can in some way eliminate those focus drops, then he'll really just check all the boxes for a receiving tight end.
If you're enjoying the video, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and also follow us on all of our social medias. The links to those are in the description.
Now, the last thing you got to discuss with a tight end is run blocking. The way I see it, there's kind of 3 tiers of run blocking tight ends. You've got a handful of tight ends that are true weapons as run blockers. They can legitimately create explosive plays in the run game for you. That includes more blocking specialists, someone like Josh Oliver for the Vikings, and also the top end of wide tight ends like George Kittle, Dallas Goedert. The second tier are players that can hold up in the run game. They're not necessarily a negative, but against bigger defensive ends, like they're not going to win a high percentage of those reps. These are players like Trey McBride, TJ Hawkinson. They can be your inline blocker, but they're not necessarily a plus in that aspect of the game. And then the third tier is the glorified receivers, move tight ends, H-backs that you don't really ever want in a high leverage run blocking situation. So like Darren Waller, Chigakonkwo, I think Kyle Pitts would fall into that tier. Based on Sam LaPorta's rookie film, I would put him in the middle to low middle of that second tier, and I think he's been a much better run blocker in the NFL than what I saw on his college tape. He's a really high effort player. He's willing to get physical, works to stay attached to blocks for the entire play. When you get him on the move, move. He has really good tracking and open space to latch on to defenders, and especially for a rookie, I think he has really good processing when the defensive picture changes post-snap. Right here against Baltimore, they're running this jailbreak screen. The slot corner pursues aggressively upfield. Sam LaPorta's initial path is vertical, but he's able to change directions, make up that distance, put him into the ground, clear open space for the receiver to run after the catch. As a smaller player, he can punch above his weight class, pull off some pancakes, and create displacement against defensive ends and even defensive tackles. Right here, the Lions are running crunch, which is a run concept where you're leaving both of the defensive tackles unblocked. You're trying to bait them into rushing upfield, and then you've got a trap block with the guard on the nose tackle and a wham block with the tight end on the 3 technique. LaPorta's able to slide over, knock this 3 tech about 5 yards horizontally, clear an open space for the running back. Another example here against Kansas City, he gets stood up on initial contact, but he does a good job keeping his hands attached. He drives his legs. Once the 3 tech reaches out to make the tackle, he sustains the block, puts him into the ground. On this play, the Lions are running pin pull, where they're pulling the center and the guard, and then they've got crack blocks from the other blockers trying to wash the rest of the defenders down the line of scrimmage. So he comes in for this crack block on Justin Matabike. He's able to spin out of this and start to pursue to the outside, but LaPorta's able to redirect, stay attached to the block, keep himself in front of him for about 5 yards down the field. And then you talk about reaction time. Right here, the Lions are running outside zone to the left. Darrell Taylor's going to slant aggressively inside through the C gap. LaPorta has the short area movement skills to cut him off. Even though he isn't able to reach the play side shoulder, he washes him down the line of scrimmage, gives Jahmyr Gibbs a chance. Good example here on the front side of outside zone, just staying attached to this defensive end, gets some help from Penei Sewell, but eventually puts him on his back. He had one of the key blocks on Jamison Williams' touchdown from week 13, just clearing this defensive end out of the way. He widens him out pretty much all the way out to the sideline, lets those lead blockers get downfield. So overall, I think he's shown a lot of positives as a run blocker. He's definitely not a player that you're worried about having on the field on rushing downs, and obviously that helps out the running game, but it also creates more opportunities for him on play action shot plays. But there are times, especially against bigger, stronger defensive ends, that he just gets overpowered at the point of contact. His worst run blocking reps of the season have come against Rashawn Gary and Max Crosby, which for an undersized rookie tight end is pretty much expected, but eventually they're going to need some of these decisive losses to at least turn into stalemates. Rashawn Gary's power and play strength combined with his hand activity made it really difficult for Sam LaPorta to sustain those blocks, and Max Crosby won about every one-on-one matchup that they had in week 8, so he's never going to be like a 6th offensive lineman level run blocker, but eventually he's going to have to limit these quick, dominant losses that just blow up a play. Right here, he just gets tossed aside by Uchenna Nwosu. He lands a huge hit on David Montgomery before he was really bracing for contact, and he knocks the ball loose. Seahawks recover. And then right here, he's pulling across the formation. Devin White initiates contact, dismantles the block, makes the tackle. So he's overall exceeded my expectations as a blocker, but there still is definitely room for improvement. He's not a player that you just can't have on the field, but he does need to continue to improve that play strength. And based on the difference from last year in college to this year in the NFL, I am optimistic that he can improve.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments any NFL players or teams that you'd like me to cover.